Hello everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters and I'm up today with a layout for our Sketch Sunday series. Now I am using a sketch you can see in the top left hand side. It's actually a sketch from Christina at Redefine Creative. It was a few weeks ago. She does a sketch every week, Thursday sketch I think it is, Thursday sketch of the night or something. And it's a weekly sketch challenge, and this one's from a few weeks ago. And I just saw it and I thought I would use it as my inspiration for this layout. So I have grabbed a background from Vicky Bouton's Mixed Media Backgrounds. This is her first lot of mixed media backgrounds. She's brought out a second pad since then, but this is the first lot. I am slowly working my way through them all. I think I've only got about 10 or so left, which is pretty good. And I am using photos, apologies, these are photos of my son in the bath. You can't see anything that's not appropriate for the internet, but it is showing his legs covered in spots. So at this point we thought he had chickenpox, but actually he had hand, foot and mouth. And first time he obviously had ever been sick like that. So I documented it and I scrapbooked it. I'm sure he will look back one day and say, Mum, why do I have photos of my legs covered in spots? But yes, it is hand, foot and mouth. So I'm using these two photos in place of the sort of 1 4x6 vertical photo in the sketch. And the sketch has a lot of tags tucked into the top. So I am definitely using that element. I use a few more tags than what the sketch uses, but I am definitely taking that as inspiration from a sketch. And I've taken, I should have said this earlier, sorry. I am using a case of the Blahs by Pinkfresh Studio. I've got quite a lot of this left, not a lot of paper, but I have a lot of embellishments, and I thought this was a good moment to use a case of the Blahs because, you know, it's a bit of a, not a great moment to scrap with your child being sick. But, first time he'd ever had hand, foot and mouth, I'm sure he'll get it again. It's pretty common in childcare. But, being first time parents, we hadn't seen anything like it before. We thought it was chickenpox at the start, but soon worked out that it was hand, foot and mouth. And the poor little thing was so miserable, but they didn't get itchy, which was good. So he wasn't kind of scratching himself for ages. So that was a blessing, which is also why we knew it was hand, foot and mouth and not chickenpox. But it did take a couple of weeks for the spots to go away and for him to start feeling better, the poor little possum. So, they're the photos. There's not really much to talk you through with this layout because it comes together quite quickly. So I'm just putting twine into the tags. So I put 3 tags above each photo, which is technically what the sketch shows. The sketch has 3 tags sticking out of the top of the one photo. Obviously I have 2 photos, so I'm putting 2 lots of tags in. Now I end up having a few more than 3 embellishment clusters, but I think it still works. I think it still works. And so I am the tags are a mix of chipboard. There's one puffy sticker, and there's a couple from the sticker sheet, and then a couple from the ephemera pack. So the puffy sticker doesn't have a hole in it, so I can't put twine in that one. Sorry, my mobile phone is beeping away at me, so I'm just turning that off so I don't get distracted. But I've got twine, in the other 5 tags. So yeah, I'm just creating those clusters, layering them up before I tuck them in under my photos. I didn't want to stick my photos down first because I knew I would have trouble layering underneath it. So I actually make sure I layer first and then stick my photos down. Even so, I still have to do some trimming to the photo on the left, or the tags on the left of the, let me say that again. The tags that are under the left photo because I do pop some foam up, and they actually, both the puffy sticker and the chipboard need to be just trimmed down a little bit, I think, from memory, to fit kind of, I guess, as much as I want to pop out. So yeah, I'm just layering those up there now. You can see me, I'm just measuring them up with the foam on the back just to make sure that I've got the right amount of tag popping out the top. And I didn't say this earlier, but I did layer up my photos on a couple of the pattern papers, or one pattern paper on each. You can't really tell because it's such a thin layer and they're very light papers anyway, but I did want to bring some of that interest behind the photos. In the end, I probably didn't need to, but that's okay. That's okay. All of the little subtle things we add to our layouts just kind of, add a bit of extra dimension and texture and interest for the final artwork to come together. That's how I justify some of my actions anyway. So I pulled out a few ephemera pieces that I thought I might like to use. I knew I wanted to use these ephemera pieces that say real life as my title because, this is real life. It's not all sunshine and roses. And so I pulled that out, and then I've also added a few of the houses that were from the ephemera pieces. One of the chipboard pieces on the left of the photo, says, "I'm tired and I want to go home." I thought that sentiment was quite nice. And then the little banner that are on the houses at the top there says, "What the what?" ? Exclamation mark. So again, a lot of ways very reflective of how I was feeling when my son was going through his hand, foot and mouth and was feeling rotten. As a parent, you feel a bit helpless, but also, they're so little and they can't tell you where it hurts or that it hurts, and you're sort of a bit helpless as to how you can help them. And then they get very clingy and upset and whingy and all understandable reactions to being sick, but it does make it tricky to try and support them as much as you can. So I'm just sticking down my ephemera pieces now. Now, I didn't edit out any of my process for this video. It was a very short video to put together, but I also thought that if I left it all in, so I know some of you like to watch it and it's not a particularly long video, so I thought I would just leave in some of this or all of this process. I literally have cut nothing out, I don't think. So you get to see exactly my thought process from start to finish. So I'm just sticking those houses in at the top there of that embellishment cluster. One of them is a puffy sticker and one was an ephemera piece, and then the what banner is a puffy sticker as well. These had a lot of puffy stickers, this collection. And the one thing I will say about this collection is it has most of the ephemera, whether it's the puffy stickers, the chipboard, the ephemera die cuts, they're all mainly word related. They've all got words on them, which is great, but it makes it tricky to use them all together. So that is a bit of a bummer about collections. Something I'm learning about myself and my style is I'm happy to have things with words on them, but I like to mix it in and balance it out with ephemera that doesn't have words. Now, you'll see in the sketch that there's sort of a bit of interest at the top and the bottom of the layout. And so I decided to do that by creating some torn edges. So I tear one section of the bottom of my layout and one section of the top of my layout and add a little bit of the pattern paper peeking out underneath. The pattern paper is just a light blue colour with a little grid in white. So it's very subtle. It doesn't take away from the sort of full-on mixed media background paper, and yeah, I think it just adds a little bit of extra interest, and I really like how it kind of ties it all together. So I do one at the top and one at the bottom, and then I was playing around with kind of adding a little bit more embellishment to the top and the bottom, but I stick with just some arrows, which again is what the sketch kind of shows, but as you can see, I've pulled out quite a few arrows on the left-hand side there, and I was going to try and put a few more onto the layout. But in the end, I go with the kind of less is more approach. So you can see me here fiddling around. So that little ephemera word at the top there says bummer. Pretty sure it says bummer. Maybe. It doesn't make it on there. That's why I'm umming and ahhing. It's not on my final layout that I'm looking at, and I've already packed away all of the collection. So I end up with that puffy sticker that says "Oh geez," and then just a plain arrow down in the bottom. And again, see, I was playing around with adding a few more bits and pieces, but I decided in the end, no, I'm going to leave it with just those two ephemera pieces. So that's almost it. I do add some enamel dots. I haven't used enamel dots for ages, so I'm kind of trying to use up my stash. Obviously, I think I say that every video I make, and I'm doing a good job of it. I haven't bought a hell of a lot of stuff, which is good. I've bought I always buy Cocoa Vanilla, so I've bought the new Cocoa Vanilla collection. I've got that on pre-order. And I have bought a couple of extra little bits to add into my stash. So a couple of Jen Hadfield paper pads, I think 6x6 paper pads maybe, to sort of add into a couple of other Jen Hadfield collections that I've got bits and pieces of. So I'm kind of trying to maybe buy one or two new things to refresh some of my existing collections, if that makes sense. And at the moment that's working well. I'm about ready probably to order another kit, so from Christina, so we will see how we go. I'm just, as you know, the world's a bit crazy. If you haven't been paying attention or you don't live in Melbourne, we are currently in what we call stage 3 restrictions, but we suspect today, well, when I'm filming this, that we will be going up to a higher level of restrictions. So there's lots of things happening. Now, I just talked through all of that. This is my video, the end. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in your next one. Bye.